Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video I have a Born Pretty stamping polish haul to share with you all, so I really hope you all enjoy watching. Now I picked up this collection from Amazon. I was searching for some autumn stamping polishes and I come across this kit from Born Pretty on there, and at the time there was a 20% off voucher, so it worked out that the whole collection cost around £20.80, which meant that if you're looking at the individual cost of each of the bottles of stamping polish, it made them £1.60 a bottle, and I don't think I've ever bought stamping polish that cheap before. I will leave a link in the description box below to my Amazon storefront, which I've added this collection to, and the voucher that I was on about gets you 20% off, and that's valid until the 31st of October. So if you're looking for some autumn stamping polishes, I definitely would recommend checking these out. Now I have used Born Pretty stamping polishes before, so they are up there with some of my favorites. I find they're a brilliant price even when you don't buy them as cheap as this, and their colors and pigmentation are always really nice as well. So you get 12 bottles in this collection, and a lot of them are very heavily autumn fall inspired. However, a lot of the colors in this collection, I know I'm going to find that I'm going to use them all year round, so it was definitely a bargain. Let's take a look at the colors. So first of all, there is this beautiful bright pumpkin orange. I can't wait to get this into a set of pumpkin nails. Then next up we have a really gorgeous chestnut brown shade. Now the bottom of these bottles have a code, but the colors haven't actually got a name. I don't know if it'd be different if you were going to purchase them on the Born Pretty website, so I don't have names for them. I'm just going to describe them as best as I can. Next up we have a little bit more of a burnt orange. This again is going to be beautiful in pumpkin, any kind of autumn leafy design if you don't want something that's a super bright orange. Then we have this gorgeous mustard yellow. I really like this one. I'm picturing doing some layered leaves with this one and the two oranges because I think it'd look really, really pretty. And I love the consistency of all of their stamping polishes as well. Like I said, I have used them before, and we will swatch all of these with some stamping further along in the video as well. I really loved this color, which I was quite surprised by, as I don't tend to really sort of reach for these kind of shades when I'm doing nails, but I really loved this one, especially when I'd seen it stamped. Now for me, a grey is always quite a staple colour as well, and I've been wanting to add a grey to my stamping polish collection as well, so I was glad that there was a grey in this kit, just because when you're doing any kind of layered stamping, it's nice to have some of these kind of like neutral colours for certain parts of the design. This green is absolutely gorgeous as well, and this is definitely one that you're going to use all year round if you do stamping, because when you're doing things like florals and greenery, you always need a green, and this is a beautiful green for any kind of leaves, stems, things like that. Now this one has got a really pretty kind of like a glitter shimmer effect to it. It's not necessarily one that I think I'm going to reach for a lot in autumn, but I have got some Christmas designs in mind with this one, because to me this is a very traditional Christmas green. So again, it was great that this was included in the collection because I know I'm going to use this coming up. Then we have this beautiful deep kind of like a Merlot red. I really loved how rich this one looked, and it's stamped absolutely beautifully as well. And then there are two more pinks in this collection. We've got this one here, which has a little bit of a coral undertone, which I think could still be good for autumn, but this is definitely one that I would use for things like florals, hearts at Valentine's Day, things like that. So again, it's one that you're going to get a lot of use out of, which I would say the same for a lot of the colors in this collection. Then we have a brighter pink. Now if you pop this over a white, it's going to look super bright. I popped it over a nude base and it kind of softened it a little bit, so I felt as though it would work a lot more better for autumn. And I find that a lot of the time when I'm doing stamping, I don't necessarily do them over a white base anyway. Then this color is absolutely beautiful. When I was purchasing these on Amazon, I thought this was just a regular white, but it's actually a pearlescent white. I have a gel polish color like this and it's absolutely stunning. I think this is going to look really pretty over darker shades. Think things like dark greens for autumn, maybe even navy. So let's jump in to testing them out with some stamping. I grabbed this plate here, which is from Nicole Diary. Now it's not necessarily an autumn plate, but it does have some autumny elements to it. But it's a plate that I haven't used in ages, so I thought I would give it a go. It's got some really pretty images on there. Now for all of my bases, I have done 2 coats of Kiki London's Vanilla Latte. When I'm doing stamping, like I said, I don't tend to ever use a white base. A lot of the time I will use a cream or a nude or an off-white, a light pink, things like that. So I thought rather than stamping over a white base, I would stamp over the colour that I use the most for my bases, which is this one. Now obviously if you stamp over a white base, I presume anyway, the colours are going to pop a lot more. I will be using these stamping polishes a lot over the next couple of weeks, so I'm sure at some point I will pop them over a white base. But I thought showing them over an off-white base kind of does show how lovely the pigmentation is to these as well, because you're not losing any of that colour or pigmentation by popping them over a slightly darker than a white base. I'm going to try and test some of the colours out over a black base or a darker colour base as well in some of the designs I've got in mind to come up on my channel, so we'll see pigmentation wise what they're like over that. But like I said, I have used Born Pretty a lot before. If you look over my stamping playlist, you'll see Born Pretty and Clear Jelly Stamper are the go-to stamping polish brands that I tend to use. So I already knew they were going to be good quality, but I wanted to test them all out just to see what the colours looked like and how well they stamped. And I have to say they all stamped absolutely beautifully. Like look how gorgeous this one looks with the autumn leaves. This is just perfect for fall. I can't wait. I've got so many designs in mind with these, but I wanted to put them in a video swatching them all first. So do keep an eye out on my channel. And of course, if you have any stamping requests, do let me know in the comments below. One of the things that I've lacked doing on my channel is layered stamping, especially a lot of the detailed layered stamping where there's 3-4 layers to an image. And the reason I've lacked doing that is I don't have a huge collection of stamping polish colours. I have quite a lot of the classics and quite a few of my favourite colours, but I'm so glad now that I finally added to them. So expect to see a lot more layered stamping coming up as well. I recently did a video with some ombre stamping too, and now I can't wait to redo kind of like a leafy design but with more of these fall colours. So as you see, I'm just flying through testing them all out. This particular one here give off some winter vibes for me. I think it was kind of like the deer head image and then this colour. I kind of just pictured this would look really pretty in like a winter snowy sort of scene. The colour as well is quite versatile. It's going to work very well for both autumn and winter. It's a really nice, I don't know what to describe it, like a taupe beigey colour, but I really liked it because it's not as brown as a lot of browns that you get. Do let me know in the comments below what you thought of these colours as well, and let me know if you had any favourites or if there's any of the colours that you would like to take a closer look at or see any specific designs with. Like I said, I have loads of autumn designs in mind, and sadly I don't always get the time to do the designs that I want to do, but it's always great to have some suggestions, and anytime there are any suggestions in the comments, I do always note them down and try to eventually get around to doing them. Now in this video I haven't necessarily done any tutorial, or we haven't really actually done much talking about actual stamping. However, I have got a whole playlist on YouTube full of stamping videos that kind of focus on teaching stamping and the different techniques and tips and tricks that I've picked up with. All of these stamping images here I had absolutely no issues with. It all picked up perfectly first time and things like that. So if you want any tips or tricks, or if you are struggling with stamping, do check out my playlist. I will try and leave it linked at the end of the video. Or if you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. Just pop them in a comment below. My plan for this video was more to just show you guys the colours, how well they stamp, their pigmentation, and kind of just like a nice chilled one. So I really hope you have enjoyed watching. Let me know in the comments below how you guys are all doing. It's nice to check in and just chit chat and catch up with some of you. Some of you guys are, I always notice the regular people who watch and comment and things like that, and then I always miss people if I don't hear from them for a while. And I did have a long time, or a good couple of weeks, where I wasn't uploading uploading regular because it was the school holidays, but I do feel as though I'm back into the swing of things and getting videos up now. Another thing I've really missed doing on my channel is acrylic nails. I haven't done hardly any acrylic sets compared to what I used to do, so I do have a plan to try and get some more acrylic nail designs up on YouTube, and of course I'm trying to try and incorporate stamping into some of them, as I do absolutely love stamping. It's probably up there with one of my favorite nail art techniques. I've come to the conclusion that no matter how hard I try, I just absolutely suck at hand painting, so stamping is a great alternative for me. Of course, I want to put some time aside to try and practice hand painted nail art. There's some incredible designs out there and some incredible nail artists out there, but I find it really hard, I'm not going to lie. And it's sometimes really hard as well to find the time to sit down and just practice without any interruptions, because if I sit down to do nails, I tend to think, oh, do you know what, I'm just going to do a video for YouTube instead. So I don't have much time to practice hand painted nail art. But I personally think stamping is a great alternative if you are working in a salon and you don't have time for hand painted nail art, if you've got back-to-back clients and things like that, and if you're like me and you're just not very artistic when it comes to hand painting. Stamping is a great alternative, and I think it's an art in its own, as it's not something that's easy to learn. I know for me myself, it took me a while to really get the hang of stamping and to find products that worked for me and plates that worked for me. So yeah, it's an art in itself in my opinion, but it's something that I absolutely love, and I'm pretty sure that if you're watching, you're a stamping lover as well. So this colour here, now really I should have stamped this over a darker background to show you guys, but I'd done all of the prep for this video before I started recording, and I just put down the vanilla latte base on all of the tips I had set out, and I was pressed for time, so I didn't get time to quickly set up a black. So I just stamped this over the white, over the vanilla latte, which doesn't really show the color very well. It's a very pearlescent shade of white, and it's obviously not going to pop over a creamy color base, but it is still very pigmented. It was harder to pick up on camera, but the image still stamped absolutely beautifully. So it's definitely one that I'm going to plan on getting into a set of nails. I thought it could look nice in a Halloween set, so I'm going to dig out my Halloween stamping plates and I'll try and pop it over a black base to show you guys, because I think it will look really pretty, and I think it's pigmented enough to pop over a black base. Moving on though, we are just going to lastly come in and top coat all of these nails. I'm using the Kiki London Henna Free top coat today. Usually when I do my stamping, I use a different top coat. I use a top coat from Kiki London, but it's one that requires you to wipe off the tacky layer, and that is my favorite top coat for over any kind of stamping. But I was running low on that one, so I thought for this video I would try out using the Henna Free no wipe top coat, and I have to say it goes over stamping quite nicely. It is quite a thin consistency top coat, and sometimes I find certain top coats separate or pit over the top of stamping. That's why I have my preferred one, but this one did go on quite nicely. I just bared in mind to keep it nice and thin, and I didn't have any issues with separation or pitting, so it went on as good as it could, and it does have a beautiful high shine to it, and it's brilliant that Kiki now do have some Henna Free products up on their website. So if you want to check that out, as always, I will leave the link to all the products I've used in the description box below, along with any discount codes that I have. So lastly, when we're coming towards the end of the video now, lastly I do leave in a clip showing you guys what all of the images look like stamped up against the color in the bottle. Obviously the bottles are clear, so you've got a true representation of the color of stamping polish, but I thought as though it would be great to show you guys what it looked like stamped, especially as we haven't gone over a white base. Lastly, this top coat does require a 60-second cure, so just pop it in to cure for 60 seconds, and then we are ready to take a look at the final clips of the video. Like I said, I was blown away by these stamping polishes. I already knew the quality of Born Pretty is something that I already loved, but for the price on Amazon, I was really shocked. Like I said at the start, I don't think I've ever bought stamping polish this cheap before, and it's been good quality, because don't get me wrong, I have purchased cheap stamping polish before and been heavily disappointed, but these were absolute perfection. So if you are looking for any new stamping polishes, I would highly recommend checking them out on Amazon. They don't just have the autumn collection, by the way. They did have another 2 or 3 collections. One was more summer themed, so it had a lot more brighter colors, and then one had your staples, which was like gold, white, silver. I'm thinking of picking that collection up myself, as I'm running low on my favorite gold and silver, so I'm going to see what those are like in comparison. And then here, as I mentioned, here are the clips showing each of the images and their colors. I hope as well this shows how clear a lot of them have stamped, because this stamping plate is quite an intricate, detailed stamping plate, so it is one of the more trickier ones when it comes to stamping. But I really wanted to give these polishes a good test for their money, so I hope you can see here how well they do stamp. And lastly, I just want to say a huge thank you to you all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment below, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscription button. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.